So, we've talked about moving on from a relationship. We've talked about moving on from a job or a career. But I think one of the things we need to touch on also is moving on from a friendship, which I honestly think is the more challenging thing to discuss because unlike nga na kunwari, you're in a romantic relationship with someone, may expectation di ba na, okay, we're gonna be together for a certain time, then we're gonna take the next step. Ngayon kung hindi tayo aligned, baka we should break up. Right. For your job or career, meron kang plan for you maybe 5 years, 10 years from now. So pag hindi na aligned, move on. But I think with a friendship, right, parang the trajectory is sana, ideally, forever.
Yes.
'Di ba? Pag nagkakaibigan ka, hindi mo naman wini-wish na next
10
in 10
years.
years, oo, hindi na kami friends. And honestly, like me, I'm the kind of person also who does not believe in friendship over. Maybe distance is the worst, I guess, cut I could make, right? But not really a complete break. But I know also that there are some instances where that's necessary. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
So difficult. You're right in
Ang
that
hirap talaga.
hindi siya yung tipong napaplano or hindi siya yung meron kang 5-year plan or 10-year plan. 'Di ba nga friends are like the family that you choose? Meaning, ito yung mga taong nasa core mo na, hindi mo man kadugo. And it's so hard to impose an expectation on a friend. I guess similarly to you, I have not had the experience of having to move on from a friendship. Distance na yung most.
Same. I don't think I've had to unfriend. Or maybe for a while lang. Diyos ko, baka mamaya meron ako mga high school, college. May
May
nagsabi,
nag-comment pa
"Hoy, magpakatotoo ka." Sorry, ibig sabihin lang nun, hindi ko na po naaalala. But in recent years, as a very congenial person also, gustong-gusto ko pa naman yung tuloy-tuloy lang. Love, love, love. Ika nga ni Ate Chris, 'di ba? Yung gusto ko talaga peace, love, harmony. So, hindi ko alam din kung paano mag-cut ties, mag-sever ties, 'di ba? Nag-move forward nga ako sa work, 'di ba? Gusto ko pa rin friends sila. Yung mga ex-boyfriend ko nga, friends ko pa rin lahat, 'di ba? Ang
That's so
hirap.
rare, by the way, but congrats on that.
Thank you. Ang hirap niyang gawin. Pero minsan kailangan mong gawin. And maybe it's not about cutting ties. Maybe sometimes it's about putting boundaries.
Okay, but before we delve into this, I want us to introduce ourselves. And this time, I want you to share with me who is your dream Hollywood barkada. Like, if you
Oh my God,
suddenly
ang
find
random
yourself
ng
in Hollywood,
tanong.
sino yung barkada na gusto mong ka-hangout?
Parang may sagot ka.
Oh, meron nga. Hi, my name is Iza. Hindi bestie, pero feeling ko kami ni Drew Barrymore. Aligned kami. I see myself in her a lot, but also Jennifer Garner, although she is a bit too wholesome, but at least we're both into fitness.
And you find a look-alike.
Sabi nga nila, wow, di umano, but thank you.
Kunyari,
Kun-
di umano.
Jennifer Gardner or Jennifer's Gardener. I've been seeing a lot of Charlize Theron's promos and I'm like, girl, I like you. Yung ganon. Feeling ko Gwyneth and I can talk about.
I was gonna say Gwyneth also.
Yeah.
Talaga, that's
I
your
love
barkada.
her.
And
I mean,
I
I would like to.
I would like, that's
I'd
right.
love to be your friend.
But on wellness, yan yung pag-uusapan
Ako
namin.
everything.
I like-
First that comes to mind na kaya ko maging tropa, ang kapal na mukha. Pero Angelina Jolie.
Oo naman. Public service.
Oh, at saka she's an introvert. Alam mo yun, yun.
So, parang you'll like the same things
Bakit?
together.
Ako, extrovert friends naman tayo.
Naman. I would love to be friends with her and see how her mind works. However, for the fun tropa, I'm older than them and I'd be the taga-tawa, taga-kinig. I would love to be friends with Emma Stone and Jennifer Lawrence.
Emma Stone is one of
Ako,
my
Emma
answers.
Stone, I
love
like.
her.
Like, when they have interviews together, like, ang saya nila maging friends.
Totoo.
Did you introduce yourself?
Oh, sorry, I'm Bianca.
Because
But
are
I
they
think
friends?
Gwyneth yung pinaka, wow.
Yes,
Gwyn-
they're
Gwyneth.
BFFs. Okay. Me, hi, I'm Lynn. Me, I really love, I don't know if you know her, Leslie Mann, the wife of Judd Apatow. I love her so much. So,
Pwede kayong friends.
Diba? Parang,
Gusto
das,
ko yun, diba?
diba? Parang na pumunta na
Totoo.
I'll hang out with the Apatow family. Siya yung, ano ko, And Emma Stone.
Earlier, I said Drew Barrymore, Jennifer Garner, Charlize Theron. But also, I really, really want to be friends with Kate Winslet.
Oh, I love her also, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Pwede kayo.
we're gonna
You're gonna hit it off.
vibe a lot. Yeah, with our advocacy.
So, if you guys wanna be friends with us also.
Wow, ni-level natin yung sarili natin sa Hollywood, girl.
Okay, so
Okay, go.
back to our topic. So, when is it necessary to move on from a friendship, and how do you do it properly?
This is the third of our moving on series. I think the common theme here is when you feel that either it no longer serves you or you're no longer serving the company. So in a friendship or company or relationship. So in a friendship, ganun din eh. Yung nafe-fill pa ba nitong relationship na to, ng friendship na ito, yung cup ko. And ako din ba, napupuno ko din ba yung cup ng isa? Although it's not our obligation or our duty to do that. Pero may ambag man lang ba ako? Or am I draining that person's energy? Or do I feel drained when I'm with that person?
I have something very concrete. Again, no, parang I don't really end friendships, but I realized that there are some friends wherein I don't spend as much time together because I feel like when I'm with them, I talk badly about other people. I don't know if you have groups like that. Because
Yes.
me, I mean, of course, it's fun to make chismes sometimes, right? But
Thank you for acknowledging. Totoo naman.
yeah, it's fun.
May
eh,
konting
diba?
marites
Yeah.
naman tayo deep down inside.
But I think there's some people na that's how they establish rapport by putting down other people. And it's just so tiring for me, even if I'm not the one being talked about. Maybe because, well, me, I'm an ideas person, diba? Parang I like unpacking ideas. I also have a lot of empathy for people, so I try not to pass judgment too harshly. Parang I don't feel good about myself after.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not as if they're not my friends anymore. It's just that I don't spend as much time with them because nga, I don't like the person that I am. Yeah, and I'm becoming when I spend too much time with them.
I also have to say, imagine what they say about you when you are not in the room.
Yes, maybe. But yun nga, but that's not even what I'm focusing on, right? Parang I try to think
Good of
well,
people.
yeah, of
Yes,
other
of
people.
course.
But yes, you're right. I mean, if that's how they establish rapport, maybe when I started distancing myself, baka that's also something came up. But again, like that's not on me, diba? You can't really control what other people.
And people will really talk about you. And that's something I've accepted para hindi ako sumama din yung loob ko lagi. Otherwise, wala na akong friends.
Ako, this has not happened to me, but I've seen it happen to other people. Again, this might seem obvious, but to others, it may not be. I think it's time to move on from a friendship if, for example, this friend, inuutangan ka ng inuutangan tas hindi binabayaran. Tapos, or
hirap
like,
I felt
kumukuha
that easy.
ng kumukuha tapos hindi binabayaran.
Yeah,
That has happened to
yes,
some
yeah.
friends eh. And parang,
Ang
I've
hirap.
seen them like justify na no, kasi they're just whatever going through something in the future. Pero you see clearly, kasi ikaw yung outsider eh, that there is a level of, I guess, pang-aabuso na dun sa tao kasi nga, take ng take. Maybe that's a sign.
My husband Miguel is a life coach, and some people, of course, they like talking to him. Like his friends like talking to him because he's a life coach and he can give them good advice. But he told me that there are some people he knows na they call him their friend, but then they never ask him about how he is. Like they just call him and immediately
Talk
they
about their lives.
talk about their lives and their problems. And in that 2 hours, wala silang tinatanong about him. And yun nga, parang Hirace, wait lang, hindi ata ako friend coach ata ako dito, pero for free.
Alam mo,
That's
inisip
another
ko,
form. Hindi pera, pero like
energy.
Energy.
Oo.
And I'm thinking like maybe I've been that on that on that end also na parang you've done that. Pero if it's one thing to do that once or twice, but if you're constantly doing
It's
that,
constantly
Ah.
that makes a difference. Oo.
oo. Kasi napatanong din ako oh my God, ako na ba yun? And you really have to be self-aware enough to make sure that when you want to unpack things with your friends, the first question is, kumusta kayo? Heads up lang kasi I'm about to do this. Okay. But for me, I think it's also time to move forward without shame or guilt from a friendship or distance. It doesn't mean like you're unfriending this person because you're in a different season of life. Hindi na kayo makarelate masyado sa pinagdadaanan ninyo. I've experienced that parang super duper close. Pero at this point lang, friends pa rin kami, but we're just not hanging out or talking as much as we used to. Do I love that person still? Yes. Do I think that person still loves me? Of course. Like, super akin yung hell, yes, I still love that person. Pero medyo na-outgrow namin yung season of our lives na kinailangan namin yung isa't isa.
I'm gonna that brought up something for me. You know, when all my friends became moms. Kakaiiyak. When all my friends became moms, you know, that was always my biggest fear na parang shocks. Obviously, like, diba, many of my friends became moms at the same time. And obviously, it's a whole different concern. It's a whole different schedule. You want to seek out other moms who can give you advice. So part of my extending grace also, right, is understanding that it's different. And then, I know that some nagtampo kasi I can't make as much time for them. But then, kasi obviously, I have to adjust to their schedule, right? It's hard for them to adjust mine. Hindi na tulad dati, oh, let's meet up after work, 9 p.m.
Ang dali. Ang dali
Diba?
dati.
Which is why I'm so grateful because, for example, Giselle, who's been my best friend since I was a kid, talagang she never made me feel left out. Parang, and she always tells me, you always make effort. But actually, no, parang I've seen that it's always been that mutual effort. So, I guess, to your point on maybe outgrowing because it's a different season, I think if it's not a difference of values, I don't think you need to move on from the friendship, except that there really has to be more intention, more effort, and more compassion.
Compassion.
Na, okay, maybe we won't get to hang out like
Yes.
before, right? It's just a different form. Yeah.
I think that this particular question is more palpable in our 20s because when you're in grade school or high school, your barkada is your barkada because you see each other every day. College, maybe it shifts because lumalaki yung mundo mo, pero yun pa rin yung core mo, you have new friends, that's your barkada, but you still see each other almost every day. And then suddenly, when you're in your 20s, you have your own careers, everyone goes in a different direction, it's suddenly like, oh my gosh, are we still friends? Nakaka-jolt talaga. So, I guess I feel the pressure less now in this season of my life, in my 40s, because I know that, like we said earlier, diba, distance, yes, but not friendship over, is because when we reconnect with our friends from so long ago, it's still, yung sinasabi nila na it's like no time has passed.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think in this season, we're able to enjoy that. Also, siguro because of more self-awareness, less ego na parang, hindi niya. Parang
Hindi ako
I keep
in-invite.
I keep inviting, lagi siya nagno-no. Parang we take it less personally now. Yeah.
I think lalo na sa dami ng mga iniisip natin, pag 40 ka, it's not just about being a parent. It's a lot of life adulting stuff. You're just, ang dami mo din talagang hindi naaalala. And minsan ako nga, parang when a person keeps, when I keep thinking of a person, I have to remind myself, send just a hi, kumusta ka? Problema, minsan hindi ko nasasagot yung hi, kumusta ka ko.
Guilty. Sorry.
Oh, but I tried. I
Yes.
tried.
That's why I love
I
now
haven't
that-
replied to all my birthday messages.
Ay,
I'm so
that's
sorry. Like,
so
ang
fun.
mga
F, that's so normal. I think that's why now I appreciate it that there is a function. This is so small, but for me big, a function of forwarding reels. Kasi if I want to reach out to a person na hindi ko napapahabain, but I want them to know I'm thinking of them, I just forward a reel and say, I remembered you when I saw this. And that's like, oh, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Diba?
that's, I like doing, obviously, in our chat. Ako yung pinaka nagka-forwarding ng reels. That's one of my love languages.
I
Oo.
want to ask though, how do you end it well with a friend? Because again, it's not like a typical breakup, diba?
But
na-
how do you even end it nang hindi, syempre nagkaroon na ng mga falling out pero may drama involved.
Yes.
But how do you end it amicably?
Correct.
Is there a way of
Binalik mo
doing
naman sa akin yung tanong ko.
that?
Yes.
Feeling ko tatanungin ko kasi ikaw yung nagsa-psychology. Ikaw yung teacher.
I wanna hear your thoughts first.
Oh my gosh, in this,
There are times when a friend crosses a line 'di ba? Kasi parang maybe we've talked about light stuff, right? Nangutang, pero kunwari,
uy,
paano kung
hindi light yung
Oo,
nangutang.
nga, totoo, hindi totoo naman.
Depende sa amount.
Depende sa amount, correct. Or yung pag sobrang constant. No, but kunwari, may business kayo together, ninakawan ka nung
Ay,
friend mo, yung mga ganyan,
grabe.
yung may staffa, right? Like,
Oh, that's I
yeah.
think that is grounds for let's move forward.
Yeah, so how do you do it? Like, how do you end a relationship with a friend? How do you do it well, I guess? Not
How would
necessarily in a
I
good note.
theoretically? Depends if it's like heavy. I don't know if you should even have that conversation right away. I think you have to just separate first, diba? And just something really bad or happened or it hurt you or hurt the other person. I think there has to be some level of distance first, diba? Hindi yung mag-usap tayo, baka mag-away lang kayo dun lalo eh. But if it's like you you don't see yourself on just being aligned with that person anymore. Hindi ko din alam kung paano mo gagawin yung conversation na, "Hi, can we have coffee? I just don't feel like we're aligned anymore." I mean, how do you
It's not
even
you, it's
and
me.
it's not you, it's me. Parang bakit? Paano mo pa sasabihin yun? Parang that you just kind of fizzle out, right?
So for you, it's just letting it fizzle out.
Yeah, but if there was an event, let's say it's not naman level of estafa, mga ganyan, but there was a situation, and you both know that, okay, this is not the most ideal scenario. Maybe somebody got hurt along the way. Maybe both of you got hurt. And you still really love this person and you want to continue to be friends with this person. I feel as adults, it would be nice to sit down and say, let's give ourselves some time and space. Perhaps I don't see things as clearly as I do now. And maybe when I take a step back, I'll be able to understand it better and I'll be a better friend moving forward. So kindly allow me this time to process things.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. Very nice.
Wow, who can do that?
Ewan ko. Ano lang yon? Yun yung line sasabihin ko sa pelikulang yun.
Oo, sa pelikula, correct. Ako kasi I've never, like I said, I've never had to do it, thankfully. It's distance. So yeah, I guess my question is, do you have to
Yun nga.
do that?
Eh, gusto nga niya eh.
No, like, I think I said that in some cases, you have to make it clear na, hey, we cannot be friends either anymore or for now, right? So that's why I was asking, how would you do it?
No idea. It's so different kasi hypothetically versus pag
Ako
nandyan
nag-hypothetical lang ako.
Oo.
Gumawa ka din ng sarili
No,
mong lines. Grabe ka, Bea.
as a non-confrontational person,
lang.
I would likely,
Just not talk
just
to that
not
person.
and then reconnect
when
years
the time is
after.
right.
Yeah. That's more realistically my
But I actually like what you said that, hey, I think we need to talk, but I'm not ready. So maybe maybe in the future we'll get a chance to
But
reach out.
and maybe say no that, I'm your friend. Or like, I care about you. I still care about you. If not love, diba? If hindi mo masabi yung term na love right now, I still care about you. Or I still respect you. Pwedeng ganon. Pwedeng as basic as respect.
Do you have an answer?
I mean, I don't have a ready answer, but because we do have Bianca and I have a friend, and she, like, for her kasi when you cross a certain value, for her it's friendship over, no. And I admire her also. I mean, because like to her, her boundaries are very clear. It shouldn't be crossed. So I need to protect it and I need to protect myself. I was just thinking that if I were placed in that situation when I really feel that my boundaries are crossed, I think I would articulate it. I wouldn't say we cannot be friends forever, for sure. But I think I would want to have the courage to say, hey, you hurt me in this way. Diba? Only because I think that sometimes we're also not aware when we're hurting other people. I know, again, in relationships na, romantic relationships, it's kind of clear kasi, 'di ba? Ang expectation ko sa'yo, umuwi ka ng 5 p.m. today. So, pag hindi siya umuwi ng 5 p.m., hey, hindi ko umuwi ng 5. Pero, 'di ba, clear eh. Pero sa friendship, I think a lot of things also go
Are in the gray area.
unsaid.
Oo.
Are left unsaid, right?
It's true. Because you don't really know, ano ba talaga yung role ko dito sa buhay mo. Parang, ano yung clock in ko dito? Ano ba yung clock out? When, di ba, are we hanging out too much? Is it not enough? I mean, ang dami eh. Because it's not clearly defined. This is what a friend is. You don't know. Like, I wouldn't know. Like, I also, Mel Robbins, her book, yung Let Them, she talked about group of friends there eh. And she said, she was getting so irked because she wasn't being invited. Sana tama yung pagkakaalala ko sa story. So parang that's one of the reasons she developed like the let them theory na. Yung the whole principle behind let them. One of it was because she was triggered by this group of friends that she felt didn't keep inviting her. And then she later on realized that she was actually also so busy herself. And maybe that's why that they weren't inviting her as much. So actually, okay, if they're not inviting you, let them. And then she says, let me, diba? Let me work it out. Kasi once you realize that maybe there's a reason why that person is acting this way, behaving this way, that's beyond your control. Now, what's within your control? How you receive it.
Right.
'Di ba?
Yeah.
The situation, the circumstance, the words, the action. You are in control now of how you will take it and how you will respond moving forward. And also assess what you need to work on sa sarili mo. Because perhaps you are also doing something that is making that friend act that.
I think nga, no, parang with friendships, there could also be a lot of unmet expectations. Because nga, like, I think you touched on this earlier na it's so easy to be comfortable kasi nga safe space eh. Diba? That we forget na, wait a minute, like, my friend is also going through their own circumstances. And I'm not always at my best when I show up for a friend. But then I'm also not pressured to show up as my best because nga you have the expectation that they're ready to receive you. But then maybe for the friend, maybe for example, 'di ba, parang, hey, when is it gonna be my turn to unravel, 'di ba? Sometimes rin it's the dynamic eh. So, yeah, I guess like maybe my key insight from our conversation here now is that it's so important to have good communication as a foundational tool for your friendship, no? And I think that's why we work. Well, binagbuhat ng bako. No, because it's so hard to work with your friends. But I think, I don't know if we talked about it, but I think B, when she wants me to do something, she makes me lambeng. Because when she sees that I'm not replying in the GCs, talagang, diba? Or like with you, I know that you're a non-replier. So I'll be like,
Follow up.
lover in WhatsApp, lover in
Oo.
Telegram. lahat ng
Yes.
possible.
Get my
Abi-
attention. And I won't be makukulitan. Mahihiya pa ako. Oh my God, I missed something again. But thank you also because earlier today on the way here, thank you for allowing me to unravel. And, talagang, actually, I was thinking nga, parang, oh my gosh, diba? I didn't want to hijack that car ride, but I needed people of sound mind, body, and spirit to give me sound advice, yung ganyan. So, inisip ko din, kaya I always ask this kasi nga, siguro bilang artista, no, hindi ko talaga gets, posibleng may pagka-narcissist talaga ako.
Parang hindi naman.
Well, may level lang. Pero may...
You're madadiagnose.
Oo. Pero may self-awareness pa rin ako. So, lagi kong sinasabi nga sa sarili ko, yung nakapaka-important nung kumusta ka muna. Kasi nga, pwede ba akong magtanong? Tapos kung wala sila sa space na yun, mararamdaman mo din naman eh.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to read what is not said or to listen to what is not said. Parang, okay, I have a friend. You know that this person is going through so many things. Tatawag pa ba ako sa kanya for this thing na mas mabigat yung mga problemang pinagdadaanan niya? Alam mo yun. Parang, nung na-realize ko yun, baka not today. Oo. It's either I do the work myself or call another friend. Parang just be aware enough to know that what this other person might also be going through in that particular season of their lives.
I wanna end this podcast with a question for B because I think you navigated one of the more challenging scenarios of friendships. In the past elections, you and two of your, I guess, very close friends, right, have very different political leanings. But because you're all public figures, 'di ba? Parang online. Parang pinag-aaway kayo ng fans ng
Hanggang ngayon.
Oo, kaya ngayon
Hirap.
pinag-aaway pa rin kayo ng fans ng different political camps. So I guess, but like me, wow, you really handle that with grace. May mga cheats na someone unfollowed whom, whatever. But ikaw, talagang wala, eyes on values, friendship. I guess I wanted maybe ask you to share what was the best thing you learned about friendship during that time.
Wow. That only you, meaning the person in the friendship, can say where you draw the line. I have zero judgment on people who have unfriended those na inaway sila because of different political leanings or values. Kasi gets ko eh, hindi mo talaga ma-atim. But then, it's really a case-to-case basis. I actually shared this recently on the podcast of DJ Chacha that what I learned taking a huge step back from a situation like that is depending on what we believe in, what our values are, who our circle is, we look at these political figures in a different lens, right? And those with different political alliances than me see the leaders who I may not agree with from a different lens, from a human lens. Therefore, when there are negative news or mistakes, my empathy. Similarly to me, when the leaders I believe in are vilified, human sila sa akin. So I have
Yes.
empathy for them. And I saw a comment about that answer of mine that said, it's such a privileged take na parang people are dying and this is your take. I never replied to that comment, but it made me really think. I don't believe it's a privileged take because even in all social classes, merong mga magkakapamilya, magkakaibigan na magkaiba ng sinusuportahan. And I just believe it's a human thing eh. It's a human dynamic na you will support whoever reflects you or your values. And again, going back, my biggest learning is that only you can say how much you can take and only you can say how much you love a friend if you're willing to still remain friends with each other, if you're still willing to love this person despite difference in beliefs. It's so personal and no one can dictate it on you. And siguro finally, when you're very clear why you are still friends or why you are not friends, don't feel shame for your decision. Because
Yes,
it's
that's so nice.
deeply personal and no one can tell you why are you friends. They don't know what you've been through together with this friend.
Yes.
Ang hirap sa pamilya. And hindi lang siya sa politics.
Mm.
Paniniwala sa buhay.
Mm.
Yeah, there are a lot of things we may not be aligned with sa mga kaibigan o minamahal natin. Pero, pipiliin mo pa rin, mahalin pa rin sila dahil mahal mo yung tao.
Yes.
Ang hirap.
All right. So, so we've done 3, right, on this Moving On series. And I think what keeps repeating, maybe the insight that we keep talking about is clarity. No, parang how do you achieve that clarity, whether it's anchoring it on self-worth, anchoring it on
Need for growth.
need for growth. And now here, it's anchoring on, I guess, values, diba? And standing on those values, even if maybe like what you see in front of you does not always meet the ideal scenario. But diba, parang how do you practice those values given that I guess we live in this very imperfect and realistic world? Any last words on moving on?
I like what you said about living in this imperfect world. And I'll just say that no one is perfect. So when we move on, it's because we're all just operating from our perfectly imperfect selves that wants to be better. And that's called being human.
Ako, I do have something. You said clarity. I think that word perfectly encapsulates, I guess, the process of moving on or the process of deciding if you want to move on. And one of the best quotes about clarity that I've heard is from Rahul Laurel when I interviewed him. And he said, clarity only comes forth once you are still. And that's so important because if we keep listening to outside noise or other people have to say, or we keep being busy and avoiding the elephant in the room, if we
Yes.
don't take time to be still, to be quiet, to really think about what we think and not what other people think, whether it's about love, career, friendship, or anything you have to move on from, it's hard to find that clarity.
That's it.
Stillness is key, Ryan Holiday. Totoo ba? So, before you react, you have to take a breath at least. And then you can respond better.
Diba, some people sleep before a big decision.
Eat ice cream first. Nandun na kami.